Yo! What? What the fuck was that confession? But yeah, false hope is extremely detrimental. We do not know what we do not know. And therefore, we can never guarantee any outcome, any hope, despite how much we want to help and want them to get better. Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated licensed psychotherapist and your favorite yapper. Welcome to my detailed psychological analysis of Horimiya episode 4. We are making headways. I hope Izumi slowly gains his confidence and reclaim his self-esteem so that he can eventually accept Hori's love. Remember, we all matter. We are all worthy. The power of unconditional acceptance. Sit back and I hope you enjoy. What's happening? A second romance brewing? Are we going to see a second set of couples besides Hori and Izumi?
拾ってくれてありがとう。一人で大変じゃね？そんなことないわ。レミも戦国くんもそれぞれできることをやってるだけ。
Oh, is the green hair glasses girl, is she from student council?
ここいつもレミが窓を開けてくれるのよ。だから空気がいいでしょ。なんかかっこいいな。誰が見てなくと。私のこと？うん。ああ、書類大丈夫？ああ、大丈夫。
大丈夫。
助かったわ、石川くん。
So they know each other?
くれんの？一緒に帰るって言ったのに、石川くんなかなか来なかったからさ。そしたら堀さんが。うわ、
暑苦しい。帰りくらいブレザー脱ぎなさいよ。ほら、アイス。トールが来たら一緒に食べたら？
ってね、くれたの。
Can we just take a moment of silence and appreciate and give Izumi some digital flowers? He's making so many moves. He's making his romantic move of bromance with Tozu. They were supposed to walk back home together after school, and obviously going on all this quality time, receiving frozen treats from Hori, because obviously he's wearing his full sleeve winter school uniform in the summer, despite the season changes to cover up his tattoos. So Izumi, you're making moves. But remember, like I said in the introduction, like the thesis of last week's episode 3, unless Izumi begins his work, doing the work about self-love, self-compassion, self-forgiveness, but ultimately self-acceptance, he will never be able to truly believe that Hori actually likes him because he doesn't love himself. So for those who do not love themselves, for those who reject themselves because of different trauma, circumstances, upbringing, how can you possibly receive love from other people when your sense of self is shaky? There's no foundation.
堀がくれたのか。堀が俺メロン味食えねえんだよ。またれよ。何事かと思ったじゃないか。
俺2個も食えないし。俺は処理係か。舌が白くなってるぞ。アイス食べたからかな。会長は？おお、緑。
What is this random, super cute, kawaii, intimate bro hangout? Sticking each other's tongues, looking at different colors and being discolored because of the color of popsicles. I literally just talked about Izumi making romantic moves, and we see this 3 bros just having a good time, sucking on popsicles in the winter.
What?
Or in the summer.
石川くん、舌長くない？そうか？
確かに長い。蛇みたいだ。後でレミとサクラにも教えてやろう。
やめろよ。
The green hair girl? The green hair girl.
そういや、生徒会とか役員って女子の方が多くね。戦国式ハーレム。
Wow. Ability to crank out AC in, I mean, if you guys been to Asia, Korea, Japan, China, name it, or other parts of like Thailand, Vietnam, doesn't matter. But at least here in the Eastern Asian context, like Japan and Korea and China, it is gruelingly hot. The humidity is like 90%. So even by you standing in the shade, you'll be drenched in sweat. But also another thing that I really enjoy about this show, aside from this being the first rom-com or just romance that I've covering, because I don't know if My Dress Up Darling is a archetypical romance per se in terms of genre, is that there's no such thing as a villain or a bad person. There is no bad person in this show because everyone just have different personality, different size of their personalities, different circumstances. The only bad people that I can think about in this show is probably Izumi's parents and or Hori's father, since based on the speculations, Hori's dad is completely absent. Very hardworking single mother who's also really nice. Also, I'm guessing like a kind of like a pushover at work based on Hori's presentation in school. And Izumi is obviously severely neglected at home. No parents. The fact that he was able to get his own piercings in ears with the bobby pins, tattoos since 14 years old. That also speaks to lack of parental oversight, lack of attachment style, a lot of parental negligence. And negligence is a form of child abuse, full stop. So the only bad people I can think about is those adults, since adults are almost always responsible for the well-being and the turnout of adolescents and teenagers, especially for children. But yeah, besides that, everyone just have different slices of perspective, different slices of personalities. And it's very slice of life, yes, but it's also very wholesome. That there's no really like typical good guy, bad guy, very archetypical black and white tropes. So I enjoy that nuances about this show. Oh, that plug! They're gonna be over every day. They extended the invitation to all their friends. So now they're all chilling in the student council room for that AC blast. That AC treatment, that VIP treatment, invite only, exclusive. Kind of like the series, since as of right now, as it's airing, it's for yappers only. But that's awesome that they're extending their invite to their friends because sharing is caring. Although the prez might beg to differ. That's funny. Oh, oolong tea. Classic.
でもなんかどっちかっていうと堀さんは石川君と似合いって感じ。トールは堀のこと最近やっと諦めたんだから。
True. Do you guys know what's one of the most toxic poison in this world? Full stop. False hope. In a medical setting, in therapy setting, clinically, psychologically, medically, in medicine, in hospital, any of those settings, one of the worst things that a professional can ever do for their patients and clients is instilling false hope. Either with prognosis for medical conditions, either with diagnosis, either with recovery time, either with providing false hope and providing false, elusive guarantee of, hey, I can guarantee that you will feel better by the end of our therapy relationship. I will never say that. And it's extremely unethical for any helpers to say that. Because one, we are not gods. Two, because we are not gods, we can never guarantee any outcome, regardless of our competency, credentials, our attention, attentiveness, effort. We just cannot control outcome, psychologically or medically. But in this case, Remy just created a very brief, fleeting moments of false hope. Like, oh my gosh, you think I look better with Hori? Unknowing that Tozu just got over Hori, right? Because obviously the friendship between Tozu and Izumi is skyrocketing in the last however years or seasons since the show started, and everyone's getting close. But yeah, false hope is extremely detrimental. We do not know what we do not know. And therefore, we can never guarantee any outcome, any hope, despite how much we want to help and want them to get better.
石川君って
Also, this is their first cross group hangout because they're trying to milk that them AC in the student council office. So a lot of the tea, a lot of information is being shared because sounds like these are news to the student council folks.
何の話？
石川くんは堀さんが好き。
Also, did that green hair girl, the girl who Tozu said was nerdy and the president's like, hey, don't call her that. Does that green hair girl have a crush on Tozu? Also, guys, I already forgot his name. I forgot if it's Toru or Tozu. For some reason, my brain is not quite registering his name. But yeah, does the green hair girl have crush on Tozu based on the fact that she asked that same question twice? That, hey, does Tozu have a crush on her? And then the president is like, sounds like it. And the second time, she murmured the same question to herself. It's as if she's in disbelief or denial. So I sense some three-way triangle relationship. And I sense some crush also happening. There's quite a few parallel process.
こんな真っ昼間から何するっていうの？
What are they up to?
ごめん。
さくらが変なこと言うから失言だった。
Yo, perception versus reality. Tozu's perception is they're doing something liu, something foul, something too intimate. That's why it's taking a while to get drinks. But in reality, in the hallway outside of the student's council office, Izumi is just literally just very klutz with his hands and picking up pennies on the floor. In expectations versus reality.
どうせ宮村が小銭ぶちまけ
Exactly right.
川
Bingo.
の優しさが温かかった。
るのを書くやつじゃないわよ。
It's not kindness. It's the truth. Oh, man.
無理するな。うりうり。はーい、お待たせ。
I'm just, I know I'm pausing a lot because that green hair girl continues to murmur things to herself, almost repeating things to herself. I don't know if it's for comprehension. I don't know if it's social cue. I don't know. Maybe it's even like I don't know. I don't want to call it autistic trait in terms of that social reciprocity, that social cue, that ability to register and be in tune with the social cues and social environment stuff. Obviously, there's no other markers or behavioral traits. Just to spotlight, I do find it intriguing and interesting that the green hair girl continues to murmur things to herself, almost repeating and highlighting the significance of some of the things that's being said.
ごめんね、遅くなって。
おう、サンキュー。コーラ俺だ。
He forgot.
ごめんね。
何？
One drink he forgot.
本当に石川君には謝らないといけない。
やめて！聞きたくない！
すごく怒っちゃうかもな。うっかりしすぎ。
さすが戦国くん、男らしい。
吉川。
I love these wholesome high school drama. No toxicity. Sure, Remy was trying to stir up shit between the Prez and Tozu and Izumi, but it's very wholesome. It's just wholesome drama. I love it. And after poor Tozu though, do you think about his imagination? His imagination was running wild. So emotionally, he was probably feeling low because of the girl he has a crush on, that he reluctantly accepted his defeat and loss because one is another bro. And it's clearly that Hori doesn't like him and she already rejected him twice. And it's very obvious that something is happening between Hori and Izumi. On top of that, for a double stab, the one drink he wants, they forgot. So what were they doing? The juicy intimacy they were hanging out, whatever they were doing, that they forgot his drink. I'm sure that's what's going through his mind.
お前たくさんペン持ってたよな。それで俺の腕さして。
たかが少しやっ
Not
君
it's not just a drink, it's the imagination. It's his perception of what happened that led to them forgetting my drink. It's that thought process.
なんかあれだったんだ。
It just happens.
あれはうっかりだったの。事前に防げなかった私も悪かった。うっかりだってさ。しょうがないわね。コーラくらいで。
は？こ？何これ？宮村！
宮村くんがコーラ落としちゃったんだって。
ああ、もうそういうことか。気にして損した。
はい。
ありがとう。河野さん。
Okay, her name is Kono.
どう？
Oh, I think Kono smiled because one, he knew her name because he learned that name from the presidents in an earlier hangout when they're sucking on that juicy mango popsicles. Two, I think he is giving her a lot of attention, validation, just person to person, almost like this common humanity, the courtesy of respect. Quality homework time.
コーラ壊れててごめんね。
Oh, AC's
朝
broken?
には強いから平気。寝るときは服着ないけど。
ああ、こうなったら生徒会室行って
あ、最低限は着る。普通だと思ってた。やっべえ。
Not full commando.
そういえば普通に脱ぐよな。もしかして脱いだら恥ずかしがるべきだった女子として。うわー、考えたら恥ずかしくなってきた。宮村、ちょっと入れ墨見せてくんない？
いいよ。
見せろと言われてすぐ脱ぐ発想。怖い。
俺は。
宮村はすぐ人前で脱ぐの？
はいや、俺こんな体だから。
トールの前では？
いや、別に脱げるけど、石川君入れ墨のこと知ってるし。
トールがさ、ドキッとする？
置かれている状況による。
They're both guys. Stop.
堀さん、はっきり聞こう。
宮村があんまり。
So the significance of Izumi pausing and stopping Hori is their familiarity and their level of comfort is increasing. Emotional safety and psychological safety, the concepts I've talked throughout the series, is obviously evidently increasing and solidifying and deepening. That's why a person like Izumi, a person with low self-esteem and a lot of insecurities and everything I talked about, especially in the last episode, psychological profiling, he had the ability and the confidence to tell Hori, stop. Obviously, it's very playful, but you guys catching my drift? If he didn't feel that comfortable with her or that confidence around her, he would not be able to do such a simple gesture because of the social anxiety, just that social pressure. That's the significance between that. And another significance of this scene and conversation is obviously Hori's about to answer Izumi's questions, but she's asking all these questions about how come he doesn't get flustered. Was I supposed to get embarrassed? And think about the key points of what she was asking about. Do you just strip in front of other people like Toru and so on? I think there's a little bit of jealousy there that, hey, who else gets to see Izumi undress so casually? Because obviously Izumi doesn't get flustered undressing in front of people. But obviously, guys and guys, it's not a big deal. Although Americans and America is more out there, I guess, with things like that versus a lot of Asian culture. Although Japanese culture is quite unique. They're in a very unique disposition within the Asian continent because they're very liberal, very forthcoming with like sexuality, sexual stuff. Again, it's for better or worse. It's different culture, period, right? So I guess in terms of the sexuality, they're more forthcoming than a lot of other Asian counterparts. But still, overall, with social stuff, obviously the US and the West tends to be more liberal.
恥ずかしがるのかなと。
You?
だってあんまり照れてるところも見たことないしね。なんかいつも私ばっか騒いでるじゃん。すぐ赤くなったり。
はい。俺さっき恥ずかしがるべきだった。もう一回やろう。
Izumi, this isn't script writing. This isn't a screenplay. This is real life. There's no do-over. You're not doing role play with Hori, but what a wholesome and thoughtful gesture that he's offering. And another significance right there, since obviously relationship counseling is one of my specialties as a licensed psychotherapist, all that anxiety, all that overthinking, all those monologue that Hori's having is a quite accurate portrayal. When a new couple, guy and girl, doesn't matter, right? When two people are beginning to fall in love in the beginning stage, because they're not even in the honeymoon phase yet, because honeymoon, it's not really clinical necessarily, but colloquially, generally speaking, honeymoon phase is about 3 to 6 months. When a new couple starts dating in the beginning of a new relationship, romantically, the honeymoon phase is about 3 to 6 months. Some varies, of course. So for them, it's not quite honeymoon phase because they're not officially dating yet. However, the same phenomena of overthinking happens. When you're first dating, when you're first going on dates with that guy or girl, you quadruple check what you're texting. You like to rethink and redo whatever you're about to text. And you scrutinize everything you do, what you're wearing, what you're dressing, what you're talking in front of them, and so on. Do you guys know why? A lot of people don't know this. Neurologically, do you know in what period of a new relationship development we have the highest cortisol spike? Generally speaking, at night when we're going to sleep, our brain produces cortisol because it's not just about stress. It actually helps regulate our stress. So cortisol can also be a regulatory hormone for our stress management. So when we're going to bed, obviously we're ready to, air quotes, shut down our brain, even though our neurons are still working hard over when we're sleeping to clean out neurotoxins and so on. Again, not to go too deep into it, but cortisol increases at night when we're going to sleep. But also in a new honeymoon phase / when a new relationship is developing out, we also experience the highest cortisol spike, period. Let that sink in. The amount of anxiety, lack of psychological safety. Is this going to work out? Are we going to make it as a couple? Are they going to break up with me over this? Did I do everything right? Are they going to like me? Will they see me again? It's this push and pull, this unknown, the uncertainty, the risk that's involved in starting a new relationship. That causes tremendous stress, and that causes a cortisol spike, especially when a new relationship, undeveloped relationship, is developing over time. That's the same phenomena Hori is going through. That's why she's overthinking all these questions like, crap, he's totally creeped out. But he's not. All of this is in her head. Again, because the cortisol spike.
脱ぐと涼しいし堀さんもしかして俺が何されても何しても一切動じないとか思ってない？
ちょっと
中学の時の同級生に会って。
中学？
宮村？進藤？は？何が？
またまた。
ああ、俺が3年に進級したこと？お前。
They're seniors now.
おい、ちげえよバカ。いつも彼女連れて歩いてんじゃん。
は？彼女じゃない。失礼だ。
You see that? Izumi continues to be in such a deep denial. His level of cognitive biases that there is no way that Hori will like someone like me. Who is someone like me? Someone like me who is unworthy of being loved, who's incapable, who's a loner in school, who's not popular, who doesn't even maybe receive the love of my parents. I'm guessing those are some of the thoughts and some of the beliefs that Izumi has based on the psychological profiling and all the information I've gathered to date. Because of those beliefs and core operating systems for Izumi, he continues to be in such a denial. Although there's so many clues, so much proof, the devil is in the details. And the details don't lie. And Hori even had a conversation, had a talk with Izumi a couple of times. That how can you possibly believe I don't like you? Despite all that proof, Izumi is still in deep denial because of everything I just talked about. And for people like Izumi, with everything I just talked about, it's not really about proof or empirical data. It's about his own lack of self-acceptance. Until he accepts himself, until he believes that he is worthy of being loved, he's capable of being loved, despite his trauma. Like I've been saying since the last episode, Izumi will never accept Hori's love. He will not be able to, because he's stuck in his low self-esteem, his insecurities, his denial.
名前で呼ばないんだ。彼女なのに。呼ぶし。って勢いでつい。
わあ
ごめん。やっぱりさすがに堀さんを彼女に間違えられたらいくら俺でも照れるって。ああでもちゃんと堀さんとはそんなんじゃないって言っておくから。
そう。
さっき話したさ中学の時の。
He just told her.
今メール届いて。
何その顔。
え
気になるじゃない。
I love the setup for this scene. This entire conversation, this entire scene is happening because Hori does not believe that Izumi can get flustered. Why? Because she's never seen him being flustered. And everything else that happens is about him being flustered in front of her because of air quote mistake that the other friend Shino believes that Izumi has a girlfriend, aka Hori. That setup is just iconic. And also, I don't have enough proof, clinical data yet, but I'm making some conjecture. I think the reason why Izumi is seemingly incapable, air quote, of being flustered, the reason why Hori has never seen Izumi being flustered in school or after school when they're hanging out, I think it's actually representations of Izumi's depression. I think I could clinically conceptualize Izumi's lack of being flustered as flat affect, right? I've shared that before. Affect is our facial expressions of our emotions. That's a clinical term. Affect is a display of our emotions through our facial expression. Flat affect means there's no display of that. And flat affect is one of the hallmarks clinically for depression. There's two types of depressions, clinical diagnosis for DSM-5. One is if you have longer than 2 weeks of major depressive symptoms, then you're eligible for MDD with 7 other criteria. I'm not going to go into that here. A major depressive disorder, MDD, you have to have 2 weeks of clinical symptoms. But if you've had your depressions for at least 2 years as an adult or 1 year as an adolescent, since criteria is different for adults and children, you can have PDD, persistent depressive disorder. PDD, persistent depressive disorder. The simplest way to view PDD is when depression is now your baseline. You've been depressed for at least 2 years as an adult or 1 year as a child, and you've had depression for so long, it's been so pervasive that you're not even aware that you're depressed because that is your new reality, new baseline. I like to view Izumi until further data that corrects my conceptualization to date as PDD. I think Izumi suffers from persistent depressive disorder, and that depression has become a baseline for him ever since he was young, where he's been bullied in school, where he's like a social outcast. No groups wanted to pick him as teammates for class projects all throughout until high school, until he met Hori. All that, him hurting himself through piercings, tattoos, to feel that pain, not like a suicidal self-injury, but just to feel that pain. That could also be another byproduct of his depression. So I think the reason why he's not really showing his emotions, and the reason why, to wrap up my yapping here, the reason why Hori can't really believe, or she doesn't believe that Izumi can get flustered, I think is a depiction of his PDD, a persistent depressive disorder, and his flat affect. Oh, he's flustered because Shino invited him for a double date. Drum roll. Oh, is this double date gonna be the catalyst? Push come to shove, that maybe that edges Izumi a little bit closer to that acceptance that, hey, Hori actually likes me. Because Izumi wasn't paying attention, But Hori was literally about to tell him, actually, you don't have to go through all the trouble of telling him all that I'm not your girlfriend. In other words, she was implying that, hey, I wouldn't mind dating with you. But of course, Izumi was all flustered because reading that text about the double date invite.
こんなにうろたえる宮村初めて見たな。
Yep, iconic setup.
いやもうほんとバカなんだよこいつがさ。マジ
They must be good friends.
失礼。
What?
同級生と
They must be really close. Really good
怒
friends.
ったりしない人だと思ってた。今でも十分仲いいじゃない。その反応はキモい。
See, he's like, oh, really? You think so? Again, Izumi's low self-esteem, his rejection of his own self. Everything I talk about, it's so obvious that it pains me. Like this is a little bit sad and heartbreaking for me as a clinician because I'm viewing through his behavioral, his display clinically, especially through my new hypothesis that he might have persistent depressive disorder, PDD. It's heartbreaking and it really pains me to see Izumi's such lack of self-esteem, his lack of confidence, and him in denial, not just about him and Hori, but also the deepening friendship between him and Toru. Clearly, you guys are good friends. But because Izumi, you can't love yourself, you can't accept yourself, that you're having such a difficult time accepting your friendship with other people.
宮村はどんな感じだったんだろう。
Definitely a loner and bullying, social isolation.
風邪？クーラー直ってガンガン冷やしたから？いや、夏風邪はバカが引くって言うし、断じて。誰？
新曲
Dude, I can't. Shinon, Izumi's middle school friend, dude. He's like, he's kind of like me. I could make friends. Well, I think friendship is more endearing. I think friendship is more sacred. But I can make acquaintances. I could befriend someone really fast because I'm a social butterfly. Nuts.
ってさ。へえ、俺も借りようかな。
Juicy episode.
あれ堀じゃね？何ナンパ？
Yo.
親友だろ？
Yo. He literally bitch slapped his longtime forever childhood friends. And Shinon is just like, oh, you should have at least told me. He doesn't care. The level of their endearing friendship, like they have to be the best of friends for this dynamic to be possible. That's awesome. I'm very happy to see Izumi has a best friend from childhood. Amazing.
こうにも
この人知り合い？
え、うん。
さっき自分で同級生って。
仮にも八坂だぞ。ひでえ。パチコー。ああ、でもやっぱ片桐も行ってみたかったな。ああ、彼女のおかげ。
だからそれ。
Aww.
えんなって。
That's awesome. He's like, I wish I'd have gone to the same high school, and Izumi's like, why? Because he seems like he's having a good time. That was what the whisper was. Two things. One, it means that Izumi has come such a long way since the middle school to a point that Shidan doesn't even recognize Izumi in terms of socially, in terms of his happiness, in terms of his positive attitude he's exuding. That says a lot about how much social isolation and bullying and difficult trauma Izumi went throughout middle school, and I'm sure even elementary school, since that was a flashback from episode 3. Second thing, it says that it means Izumi is really comfortable in front of Shidan and also really comfortable in front of Toru and Hori. I'm sure Shidan has not seen this side, this comfortable and confident side of Izumi in a long, long time. That's tremendous progress, and it speaks volume to how far Izumi has come. So my question is, how much rougher, how much lower was his self-esteem? How much higher was his insecurity and how much more trauma did he endure, and has the show yet to reveal about Izumi's background.
じゃあどっかファミレス入る？
おいシンド
That's awesome.
やべ
Flashback.
おい待てよシンド
Oh, bro. Rude. Oh.
やべノート忘れた。
先行ってて
授業行かねえの？あと2分で始まるよ。
Wow, Shindan didn't even help.
せめて拾う。
Oh, he came back. Okay. Take that back. Oh, Shindan. Good guy. You're a good guy. Miyamara. He called him Mara Mara, but his name is Miyamara. Obviously, they don't really know each other. Like I said, obviously Izumi was a loner in middle school and elementary school, probably.
ちげえよ
そうだったよな山本。
Yamamoto.
山川。
Yamakawa.
川だ。
Kawara. Yo, Yama.
同級生と過ぎて違和感
宮村。
あそれ俺の
一口一口。
He is just so natural with everyone, and he gets comfortable with someone really fast. I have friends like that. Like I said, I also have some of that personality traits. But yeah, he's kind of like a golden retriever. Shindan has that golden retriever vibe. Just so warm, so cuddly, so bubbly. Just such a wholesome guy. A simple guy, one could say. And sounds like and seems like Shindan's the only person that offered a gesture of help, and who only helped to pick up the notebooks, and who made that initiative to talk to Izumi, just like Toru and Hori. Aww, nice.
一回ライブ行きて。
Oh, a lot?
そう
Interesting.
ね。おかげさまで。
あいつさやめといた方がいいってマジ
What? Why?
暗いしスーがピアスとかものすっごいなあシン
Aww.
宮村を暗くさせたのは誰よ。谷原たちはさ、俺が宮村に取られるのが悔しいだけでしょ。
Damn! Yo! Mic drop! Lip balm drop. Let me drop something. Yo, Shindan, you are my new favorite side character from the show. You are awesome. You have backbone. You're assertive. You're extremely kind. You're genuine. You do not judge a book by its cover. And you stand up for Izumi because the other guy was talking shit behind his back. And gossip is a no-no, because gossiping means you're not giving the other person an opportunity to defend themselves during your conversation behind their back. It's a very cowardly move, full stop. Shindan does not tolerate that. That's why he flicked that water. And to make that mic drop moment even better, he's literally waving goodbye at his previous friend, who's obviously doesn't sound like not the best solid character there is. Don't worry, we will hang out again sometime. Shindan is so real. He's not even doing like an empty check, a blank check promises. Oh, I will hang out tomorrow. That fake shit that a lot of LA people do, Los Angeles people. It is what it is. If you know, you know. If you're from LA, he's super real, and he's not even faking a promise to hang out. He literally just says as real as he gets. This is the coldest, baddest line I've seen in a long time in an anime.
また遊んでやっから。
Amazing. Wow, dude. That bathroom door shutting after him. Cold. Aww.
俺の中学時代を変えたのは
And one more thing, it just hit me. Also, the reason why the other, whatever, green hair, light blue hair guy was telling Shindo that Shindo flicked water, he said something really, really mean. He's like, you probably want to stop hanging out with him because he's the type of guy that's bad news for everyone if he gets mad. What is he implying? He's implying that Izumi could be a mass shooter. he's implying that he's implying that Izumi is one of those loner guys that once they get pissed off, they shoot out an entire school. That's such an effed up thing to say about someone that you barely talk to. It's so mean. So I'm really glad that Shindon stood up for Izumi, because Izumi heard the whole thing walking past the bathroom, and I'm sure Shindon doesn't know that.
この振動だった。
Oh yeah. Hori and Toru.
宮村早く。
きっと堀さん。
So that was an awesome scene because it's two people walking in front of Izumi while he's having this flashback and monologue. Shindon, the one person who represents changing and transforming Izumi's middle school experience, and also in turn changing his outlook in life. Maybe Shindon is the reason, that one person that stopped Izumi from killing himself, from major depression, from suicidal thoughts. I know that sounds dark, but it is extremely possible. That's what it means to change your outlook in life and change your outlook in middle school. Shindon is that guy. And who's the other person that also changed Izumi's outlook in high school? Who's the other person that carried equal amount of weight, equally transformative? Hori. So it's the people that had a tremendous positive impact in Izumi's life. It's the people walking in front of him. Plus Toru.
うわ、すごい熱だよお姉ちゃん。ママもう仕事出ちゃったよ。どうしよう。お姉ちゃんどこ行くの？その熱で
Oh, yeah.
違うの。夏風邪はバカがひく。
I was literally about to say only morons catch cold in the summer. I was going to say, you know what also makes us a moron, makes us more idiotic? Love chemicals, hormones. When we're in love, our brains do not work properly. So in that sense, love makes us an idiot. Love makes us a moron. So in that sense, Hori, you're not entirely wrong. Only morons catch cold in the summer, but you're also like a love moron in the most endearing, loving way, right? It's not just you. Love, this crazy love chemical all makes all of us a little cuckoo sometimes, you know? That's the power of love, baby.
引いてるじゃん。
Aww.
僕学校行くけど死なないでねお姉ちゃん。死なないわよ。
Aww.
そうともしっかりしてきたな。京子ごめんね。急な仕事が入っちゃったの。そばにいてあげたいけど、ママ行かないと。ママ、私。
Oh, she's sick. Oh, it's okay. So it's only been 2 hours since she took a nap?
詰まる詰まる鼻詰まる。
堀さんタオルいる？
ありがとう。
はい。
When did Izumi get in? Bro, what the heck? Izumi, do you have a spare key to this house? Did Hori make a copy and gave you a copy of their keys? Yo, you guys are might as well date. You guys are doing all the things, you know?
おかわりとかも買ってきたし。
幻覚？なんで宮村？
そうだが朝早くにお姉ちゃんが死んじゃう。
You might die.
もしかして学校行こうとしてた？熱は
30。37くらい。
薬
Right there. The reason why Hori is lying and underreporting the actual, because I think it was like 38.7, 38.9, if my memory serves you correctly. The reason why she's underreporting the temperature is because she doesn't want him to get worried. Why? Because she likes him. And when you like someone, you want to present yourself as the best to them. Also because she believes that only morons get sick in the cold or get cold in the summer. So she doesn't want to appear to be a moron based on her own belief, because Izumi doesn't share that belief, right? But so those are the two reasons. And another deep thing, you guys might have missed out. I think the deepest layer of that flashback, that quick nap, the dream that Hori had during those 2 hours is the origins of that belief. Because for all of us to believe in something, there has to be an origin. Something happens that created that belief. So the belief of Hori believing that only morons get cold in the summer, where is that coming from? Who told her that? Where was that belief instilled? That's the origin of that dream for that 2 hours. That flashback indicates that whenever Hori was sick in the past, her mom was never around to take care of her. Because of that, she should never get sick. Because if she gets sick in the future, no one's there to take care of her. So it's just a struggle, it's just pain, it's just suffering. Because the mom is busy working overtime because it's a single mother household, there's no dad. And she has to be healthy for Sota because the mom is never home. So because of that difficulty and the circumstances, over time, a disbelief was formed in her mind that never get sick. Because if you get sick, you're a moron. And no one wants to be a moron. That's also probably why she's an A student. She's an overachiever. Because she doesn't want her mom to get worried. Because she's trying to alleviate the burden of her mom being a single mother. But in turn, through that process, she's burdened, she's burnt out. She became parentified. She became overly independent. Do you guys see that? Because it oscillates, it swings back and forth. So those are the reasons why I think the episode to close out is spending so much effort, so much emphasis on why it's such a big deal that Hori got sick. It's not just about the sickness. It's everything I talked about. Another significance. I know I'm yapping literally about a few seconds, but there's so much emotional significance here. And then with everything I just talked about, who's the first person who is visiting her when she's not feeling well, who's coming over, who's taking care of her while she's sick? Not her mom, not Sota, the little brother, because he's in school. Who? Izumi. The only person who showed up for her during her vulnerable state while she's not feeling well is Izumi. Do you guys see that? The significance of this scene, the significance of Izumi being at home taking care of Hori. So I think through this, Izumi's gonna change and shatter some of Hori's belief system. It's gonna help Hori to reprogram her because not all of her beliefs are healthy. Some of her beliefs are maladaptive. Some of her beliefs are unhealthy based on her trauma, based on other stuff. So I think it's like a bilateral relationship. Izumi is making Hori better, and Hori is also gonna make Izumi better in a different aspects. Because all of us have different insecurities. All of us have different strengths and weaknesses. Amazing, amazing. It's a very deep, deep scene. Oh, see? She's hyper independent. She's too independent for her own sake. She wants him next to her. She doesn't want him to leave her. Exactly what I talked about. He became her emotional comfort. Ooh la la. Oh, no. It's everything I said. Oh, yep. This is about her mom. It's about Hori's mother and her bitterness, her sadness, her grief. Deep. Oh, God, I have full body goosebumps right now. Oh. Oh. Oh, I know we still have like 30 seconds to go, but I just want to, that was such a deep scene. I won't talk too much here because everything I said right earlier. One last thing though is the reason why Izumi was able to reframe and understood the underlying sentiment of what Hori was saying. Where are you going? Did you mean please don't go? I'm pretty sure, I'm 99.9% confident Izumi was able to understand that precisely because he felt the same way about his parents with this undisclosed context. I'm pretty sure Izumi also wanted to ask his parents many times, where are you going? But I'm sure he also couldn't speak his mind. I'm sure also he instead, maybe he asked, maybe he didn't, but I'm sure he also said, where are you going? To his parents, who are seemingly negligent, who are never home. Hori went through the same thing because of the difficult hardships and the circumstances that necessitate her mom to work overtime as a single parent. They connected. I think this was the deepest, heartbreaking, yes, because of the trauma and the circumstances, but I would argue this is the most and the deepest they've connected since the show started. They met each other, they're meeting each other during Hori's one of the most emotionally but also physically vulnerable moments while she was not feeling well. And again, like I said, she was forced to be self-sufficient. She was forced to grow up way too fast, to be too mature, too strong, too independent, out of necessity. And that's why the mom was apologizing.
じゃあ行くね。一応お母さんと学校っていうか石川君に連絡しといたから。あと俺堀さんが好きなんだけど。
What?
結構前から。それと冷蔵庫にいろいろ入ってるから。
What the fuck was that confession?
何かあったら電話かメールして。すぐ来るから。
What was that? Is that because Hori's sleeping? He just blurted out his profession of his love.
今の何？てかびっくりしすぎて熱引いてる。なんで？
She was awake.
でももう一度言わせたくない。例えば。
What the heck? I did not see that coming. Wow.
何も聞かなかったことにすれば、もう少しこのままでいられるのかな。
Wow. And also to close out, there was also another callback like a couple of minutes ago during their conversation when Izumi was holding Hori's hands like that, right? With the towel underneath. He's like, unless you tell me to F off. I know the translation was buzz off, but he basically said, unless you tell me to F off, you're tired of seeing me, all that, I will never leave. I will always be here. That was a callback to a reference from earlier episodes about when she was like, oh no, once they graduate, he's gonna leave. But I don't want him to leave. I think that was a callback to that. So he made it explicit. He verbalized his intention and his commitment to her and with her that unless you tell me to F off, disappear, I will always be here. Because maybe Hori's mom never told her that because she's always in a rush because she's working a lot. And maybe Izumi's parents never told him that either. But what's important is that Izumi said those words. Extremely important words to Hori as assurance, but also to comfort her. Woo! Enough said. Yapped for over an hour and 6 minutes. As always, smash a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this. It kind of feels weird saying that because as of right now, this is only released to the Yapper tier, but obviously afterwards it will be open for all Patreon and YouTube members. Anyway, appreciate you for tuning in. Please take away the key point of today's episode. Please, please, please be a little bit nicer to yourself. Self-compassion is an ongoing theme. Self-acceptance, accepting ourselves, our own perception about who we are has been the ongoing theme for the last couple episodes. It is one of the hardest yet most important work, especially if we have all this trauma of negligence, similar to Hori and Izumi. We have to show up for ourselves. Maybe because the people that should have never did. But it's okay. We are still here. And we can do that for ourselves. And then we can then get accepted and receive love and affection from other people. You guys got this. Remember, you matter. You're worthy. Until next time. Peace.